everyone, welcome to this week's video. This week's Parsha is Pikudei, and I have some amazing news that we can tie directly into this week's Parsha. Pikudei lists the accounting of all the materials that were needed to build the Mishkan in the desert. And just yesterday, we got amazing news from the building department of the city of Chicago that we have been granted permits to expand our Mishkan, our sanctuary for God, our sanctuary for the community, the Chabad house. So we are very excited to be moving forward on this. And I hope that by this time next year, when we read Pikudei again, when we read about the final accounting and the materials and the building of the Mishkan, we will be completely finished. So stay tuned for that. And thank you everyone for all your support on this journey, on this process. And we look forward to sharing the news and good news as we move forward. If you'd like to get involved, please drop me a line anytime. So what is Pikudei all about? So it starts out with an accounting of all the materials that were brought to build the Mishkan. It starts out with the gold. The gold, 29 talents and 730 shekels. Gold was used for the menorah and for other parts, for the golden altar as a coating around the wood. It was gold plated, and many other materials were made out of gold. Silver was 100 talents and 1,775 shekels. Copper was 70 talents and 2,400 shekels. There was more silver than any other metal that was used in the Mishkan. I want to focus on this for a few minutes because you would think that gold, being of so importance, so beautiful, that would be the primary, the greatest donation. What's also interesting is the way they donated silver was actually very different than the way they donated any of the other materials. All the other materials, everyone could bring as much or as little as they wanted. You wanted to bring more copper, less gold, more gold, whatever you want. It's up to you. But when it came to the silver, as we learned last week, everyone had to donate a half shekel. And then they melted down the half shekels to create the sockets. The primary purpose was the sockets for the boards that held up the Mishkan. So there was big boards that went all around with two pegs like tenons that went down into these silver sockets. They were made out of solid silver, so they were probably very thick. The Torah actually gives us the exact dimensions of these silver sockets. And they held the boards in place. So the underpinnings of the entire Mishkan walls was these silver sockets. So our question that we're going to delve into, what's with its silver that everyone has to be equal, everyone has an equal share in the silver sockets? And what is it about silver? Why silver? What's the meaning? What can we take out from this idea? So, if we break down our the way we serve God and the way we behave as Jews, and what is the sort of the enthusiasm, the excitement of being Jewish, of doing mitzvahs, studying Torah, all these things, where are we with this? So the Torah says we have to love God and we have to revere God. Love is a hard one. There's different types of love. Love can be when we don't have something and we pine, we yearn for that person, for that moment, for that experience, or whatever it may be. And then you can have love when you have it. And that's a very more static, more constant form of love. And this, the Kabbalah explains, is the difference between gold and silver. The love of gold is the love that is present, or what we call the love of the very righteous, the love of the tzaddik. The tzaddik is just in a constant state of love for God. The love of silver is the love of yearning. We derive this from the word kesef, which means silver is from the word nichsefa, which means to yearn. Nichsof nichsafti, the poet writes. My soul is yearning, is longing. the love that is on fire, that is excited, that is yearning, that is passionate, that is desiring something that seems within reach but not there yet. That is the love of silver. And the Torah is teaching us that the foundation of everything, the foundation of Judaism, the foundation of a mishkan, of a sanctuary for God, the foundation of a place of worship has to be a longing, a yearning. And even the greatest tzaddik has to develop within himself that sense of yearning, of passion, of growth, of desire to reach something higher than the place that I am right now. And in that, we're all equal. Everybody on their level, but everybody must partake in this form of excitement, of passion, of desire for a closeness to God, a desire to be good, a desire to grow spiritually, to develop. That is sort of the foundation of Yiddishkeit. The Rebbe also explained that kesef is also the idea of kabbalas oil, which means accepting and commitment to God, to the Torah. And in that, we're all equal. Everybody has to have a very baseline acceptance to say, I'm going to do. I may not understand yet. So in a sense, the kesef is the equalizer, is the level of the way we serve Hashem, where we're all equal. We're all the same. I want to share one other additional point, which is brought out by the Baal HaTurim. Baal HaTurim, Rabbi Yaakov ben Asher, the 12th century, 13th century, he explains an interesting point. He says that the 100 talents of silver is the 100 blessings that we are instructed to say every day. Every day we're supposed to say 100 blessings. And it's on food and the Amidah and the different prayers and the blessings after the meal. All adds up to about 100, a little more than 100 blessings. And in fact, when they built the Mishkan, Moshe blessed the people. And he said, may God's presence be felt in this place amongst us. The idea of a blessing is fundamental in Judaism. We bless God as a sign of gratitude, a sign of awareness that it's not just our work and our labor that produces the abundance and the bounty that we have in our lives, but it's also the divine blessing that brings it with us, that brings it to us. I want to share one little story about a blessing. I have a colleague of mine in California. When I was a yeshiva student, I visited this family, became a colleague later. And he explained that they didn't have children for many years. For 7-8 years of their marriage, they had no children. And one day, they had a group of yeshiva students passing through their city. And they made a farbrengen. And the yeshiva student said, we'd love a little vodka to say l'chaim. And so this rabbi said, I'm only going to give you this little schnapps on one condition. You all have to give me a blessing for children. Of course, they were happy to do so, happy to comply. And they filled their glass and they said, l'chaim, we bless you and your wife, you should have children. And indeed, by that time next year, they were blessed with a beautiful child who is now back there as a rabbi. And the point I want to share with you is that we bless God and we should bless others. We've been given the power to give blessings. The Gemara tells us, let not the blessing of a layperson be taken lightly in your eyes. That we should take this opportunity to bless each other. And I bless you to have a good Shabbos, to give health and happiness and nachas and everything you need in abundance. We should all be blessed with peace in the world, peace in the land of Israel, peace in our communities, and peace in our families. Good Shabbos.